We aloha you folks. Thank you for your help. Mahalo. Mahalo no ke koku anui anamai. Thank you for the awesome support. Thank you. I think we're about ready to start. And as we look around, we see our First Nations host. I think we have our Coast Miwok are also here. E ia Hawaii he moku he kanaka Hawaii he kamanata hiti he pōli I mai ka paahu mai moa ula nui a kia kanaloa. Aloha kapala kiko. Aloha San Francisco. Welcome everyone to beautiful Aquatic Park Cove here in San Francisco as the Bay Area community welcomes the Hōkūleʻa. My name is Randy Kamuela Fong of Kamehameha Schools in Hawaii. And I serve as the cultural advisor for the Polynesian Voyaging Society. I'll be your MC this afternoon. We begin our time together by acknowledging the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula, the Ramaitush Ohlone. Tribal Council Chair Jonathan Cordero, aloha. We'd like to ask Culture Director Greg Castro to begin today's ceremony. Greg.
Rishatohi, greetings relatives. Thank you for coming today and supporting us and supporting these incredible voyagers on a journey of healing and connection. The Ohlone people were heavily affected by the mission and the colonization system. But we are still here. And I want to thank my Ohlone relatives and my other California relatives that are here to support us today and helping me greet the crew as they came in over half an hour. It was good practice for us. And thank you all for coming out and greeting these incredible indigenous culture bearers. What they say and the words they bring are what we believe, is that the earth gave birth to us and unites us all. Many have forgotten, some deny it, but there cannot be denying that truth, that we are all linked together through the earth, through the waters, and now we are called to heal that earth and waters. For many of us, that responsibility was taken away from us, or at least the attempt. But we understand our sacred obligations. We understand our sacred instructions. And that's why our ancestors sacrificed, so we could still be here to do this work that Creator gave to us at the beginning of time, to take care of the world, to take care of the land and the water, and to take care of each other. And this gathering today is all about that. I'll pass this along with a song from my Rumsen cousins. And this song is Strangely Left, the Fog song, which apparently the fog knew I was going to sing it and decided not to show up. But I'm going to sing it anyway because it also clears the mind of the fog that we have, clears our heart of the fog, clears our spirit, so we can hear each other, greet each other, bond with each other, and renew the traditions that have gone back in time immemorial. Arapa Chitiahuan Wasiahim. 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 Oh, nice funny guy. Thank you.
Mahalo to our Ramaitush Oloni Ohana. Today, as we welcome the Hōkūleʻa canoe here in San Francisco and celebrate the first 3 months of an epic 4-year Moana Nui Akea voyage, our hearts and minds are with our families on Maui. Thank you for your aloha, your prayers, your donations, your care. Really, it's the world's love and compassion for Maui. It's truly the wind that fills the sails of Hōkūleʻa. So mahalo. Beautiful Aquatic Park is a vibrant community of water enthusiasts who care about the maritime history of this special place. National Park Service Public Information Officer Dale Dewalden will share a few words. Dale.
Mahalo, Randy, and thank you, Greg Castro, Ramaitush Ohlone family, for setting the right tone and planting ourselves here today in this gathering. To everyone visiting today, and to our distinguished guests, aloha and good afternoon. On behalf of San Francisco Maritime National Historical Park, it is my great honor to welcome each of you with us here today on the ancestral homelands of the Ramaitush Ohlone people, to join in extending our warmest welcome and aloha to the crew of the Hōkūleʻa. San Francisco Maritime National Historical Park, a park unit of the National Park Service, is honored to host the Hōkūleʻa, a Polynesian double-hulled voyaging canoe that carries with it the stories of ancient seafarers who traditionally navigated the vast Pacific Ocean using only the stars, the winds, and profound knowledge of the natural world. As we celebrate Hōkūleʻa's arrival here at our national park, we acknowledge and appreciate its value and connection to maritime history, reminding us all the importance of stewardship of our environment and preserving cultural traditions that stretch even far beyond the sea. This park was established in order to preserve and interpret the history and achievements of our nation's maritime heritage, especially on the Pacific coast. The story of Hōkūleʻa not only strengthens our connection to this mission, but revives the untold stories of Polynesian and Hawaiian culture and traditions, and serves as a symbol of hope, courage, and adventure. Hōkūleʻa's journey is not just a physical voyage, it is a voyage of the human spirit that is defying odds, transcending time and place, and is a testament to how the power of exploration and discovery can bring an individual to oneself and bring people together, as did Hōkūleʻa's sister canoe, Hīkanalia, here at Aquatic Park back in 2018. Thank you to the Polynesian Voyaging Society, all the event organizers, and to all here joining us in celebrating this momentous occasion and experience, to learn from one another and be inspired. May Hōkūleʻa inspire us all to continue exploring and preserving the rich tapestry of our shared maritime heritage. We hope you enjoyed your afternoon. Mahalo. Thank you.
A passionate steward of this amazing place and host of our sister canoe Hikianelia back in 2018, please welcome CEO of the San Francisco Maritime National Park Association, Darlene Plumtree. Darlene.
Thank you, Randy. Aloha and welcome to everyone here this afternoon at the Aquatic Park. On behalf of the San Francisco Maritime National Park Association trustees and staff, I want to welcome the Hōkūleʻa and the Polynesian Voyaging Society. It has been my honor and my pleasure to work with the Polynesian Voyaging Society for the second time. When we found out that they were making a voyage down the coast, we were really delighted to welcome them here and have them here today for this wonderful multicultural event. I want to thank my partners at the National Park Service, all of the staff, the Port of San Francisco for assisting with a berth for the vessel and making this happen today. We are honored and delighted to be part of this important celebration, and I thank you all for being here today. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Darlene. This next gentleman is a highly regarded leader and servant of this community. Please help me welcome the President of the Board of Supervisors of San Francisco, Mr. Aaron Peskin. Mr. Peskin.
Thank you, Randy. Nainoa Thompson, Captain Blankenfeld, to the crew, to Dr. Earl, to the First Peoples on both sides of the Pacific. It is this body of water that unites us. The bay that stands behind me is a third smaller than it was when the missions were first established in what is now Northern California. Many of the people here from the South End Rowing Club and the Dolphin Club swim, as do I, every morning in the bay's not so cold waters anymore. That breakwater used to be covered in starfish. Today, there's not a single starfish left on that breakwater. The Hōkūleʻa inspires us. It inspires us to know that there is a different way that we can all come together from Hawaii all along the Pacific, the 43,000 nautical miles that the Hōkūleʻa will be traversing, all of those countries, all of those First Peoples, all of those countries can come together to meet the imperative that we are now facing. And it is in that spirit that on behalf of the City and County of San Francisco that we welcome you and thank you for spreading that message all around the world. On behalf of the City and County of San Francisco, welcome.
Mahalo, Mr. Peskin. With us today in spirit is California State Governor Gavin Newsom. Allow me at this time to read a special proclamation on his behalf. The Moana Nui Akea, a journey to ignite a movement of 10 million planetary navigators who will pursue critical and inspiring voyages to ensure a better future for the Earth, arrives today at Aquatic Park in San Francisco. As we welcome the Polynesian canoe Hōkūleʻa to the California coast, we join with the first Californians to call the bay their home in recognizing the crew members in their successful voyage across the ocean. In recent times, Polynesian people have embarked on ocean voyages using ancient forms of vessel and navigation to raise awareness of both their traditions and environmental threats to the ocean and islands they call home. The Polynesian Voyaging Society, Hōkūleʻa, the organizer of Moana Nui Akea, has been a leader in this effort since 1976. In 2011, the Pacific Voyagers fleet of 7 replica waka arrived in San Francisco from New Zealand, Aotearoa, completing a journey designed to put a human face on those most impacted by growing problems like overfishing, pollution, and ocean acidification, and confront some 3 billion people in the Pacific Rim nations and Pan-Pacific Islands who depend on the ocean, as National Geographic reported. In 2018, the state now welcomes the Hōkūleʻa. In 2018, the Hikianalia, sister to the Hōkūleʻa, arrived here in that same spirit. The Golden State now welcomes the Hōkūleʻa, her courageous crew, and the opportunity to reflect on their important message. Located near the traditional village of Petalanook, the area of Aquatic Park has benefited from the stewardship of the Ohlone since time immemorial. From the beginning, the Ohlone supported a rich economy through sustainable management of the ocean, its bounty, and the land's diverse ecosystem. The Ohlone peoples and other First Californians continue to this day to rely on traditional knowledge gathered over thousands of years of observing, experiencing, and shaping the natural cycles of this land to manage their resources. As we face the threat of climate change and the reality of year-round wildfires, these knowledges are guiding California's development of mitigating environmental policies and practices. All who experience the California coast recognize it is a natural treasure whose breathtaking scenery has inspired generations of artists, authors, dreamers, and sightseers. California's love of the coast has played an important role in making our state a world leader in the movement to protect oceans and other natural resources from pollution. With the arrival of the Hōkūleʻa, we recognize the value of our natural ecosystems, the oceans, and traditional knowledge, and affirm our commitment to inspiring successive generations of youth to build a better, brighter future for all. Now, therefore, I, Gavin Newsom, Governor of the State of California, do hereby proclaim September 24th, 2023 as Moana Nui Akea Welcome Day in the state of California. How about a round of applause? Governor Gavin Newsom. Mahalo nui loa. Mahalo nui. We'll ask the crew to stay in place at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, the crew of the Hōkūleʻa. At this time, we invite Polynesian Voyaging Society leader, pole navigator, and one of Hawaii's extraordinary watermen, Captain Bruce Blankenfeld, to introduce the members of the Hōkūleʻa crew. Captain Bruce.
Mai, aloha winuwala. This crew is part of a few hundred crew members that we have who are helping us make this longer journey. And we're so, they're amazing people. Starting in the front right over here is Aina Paikai. have Ka'ivi Hamakua Maku'e, Nikki Kavalu, Lucy Lee, Kelly Takinaga, Lehua Kamalu, Shoko Ogata, Kalani Kahaleoumi, Momi Bean, Mike Cunningham, Jason Medeiros, and our captain, Nainoa Thompson. Mahalo nui.
Another round of applause for our crew as they take their seats. On their behalf, we just say mahalo nui to this amazing community. And now our senior pole navigator and Polynesian Voyaging Society CEO. He's distinguished himself as a global leader in the indigenous science of traditional Pacific navigation, that is, navigating without modern instruments, using only the stars and wind and currents as did our ancestors. He has brought the canoe here today to San Francisco to uplift indigenous knowledge and to amplify the urgent call for action to restore our oceans and help heal the planet. Please welcome Mr. Nainoa Thompson.
Aloha mai kākou. Sometimes I find myself where it's difficult to express how you feel. And this is certainly one of those times. What I feel the most is a lot of aloha for all of you that took the time to be here on this day. Because you're here, it helps us understand that there's value in our work based on our beliefs. And because sometimes it gets pretty dark out there, the challenges before us seem like storms we'll never get through. But when you see people come together, you always have a chance. So the Bay Area people, Sausalito and San Francisco, mahalo on behalf of our whole crew. When it comes difficult to express how you feel, it's when you get greeted by a Pacific Islander that chooses their home to be here. From our home, you know, there's a term that the world knows, it's called Polynesia, but really it's Moana Nui Akea. Moana Nui Akea is known throughout all of the Polynesian islands, the 10 million square miles. That's larger than 3 times the continental United States. And that if you exclude the landmass of Aotearoa, add up all the other tiny islands, it's 600 times more water than land. It's an ocean place. And so when there is a Polynesian that comes here to be with us, we feel like we're in our family. And family is something that we protect. It's something that we love. And I do want to thank all the leadership that we have here that would allow us the permission to be here with you today. And I really want to thank the Oloni. Essentially, if they did not give us permission, we wouldn't come in. Because that is a statement of respect to them that have been here 10, 12,000 years. What I heard today was, said, welcome home. We're just across the water. One family that needs to come together. And I do want to thank all the people that work so hard, hundreds of. I kind of like run away when I look at everybody and their emails and their texts and their telephone phones. It just took so much coordination to take an idea of a voyaging canoe to come into an aquatic park as if it means something. And I do want to pick out Michael. Where are you? Michael Oberon, he is like the genius and the coordinator of all this. I mean, he does Super Bowl events, but he was tireless, and we thank his family for giving him to us for months on end to make this day happen. Michael, thank you. Moana Nui Akea is our most recent voyage. On this voyage, we will cross 50 years of this canoe sailing. We'll cross 300,000 miles in the next 47 months. Moana Nui Akea is a time to help us understand, and I will say this, and you could disagree, but it's our belief that student navigators, and by the way, you know, I'm not a master navigator. I'm still in kindergarten. What's important to know and to say and to respect the fact that when this canoe was launched 48 years ago, us guys in Hawaii did not know anything. We didn't know the name of a star, the direction of the wind. We didn't know what a star compass was. We didn't know what a sheet line was. And so my point is, everything that we do now was taught by extraordinary teachers. Top of the list is P.I. Luke. Mao, from a tiny island called Satawal in the Western Carolines. It's 1.25 miles long, it's half a mile wide. The highest dirt is 8 feet. And the Spanish and the Germans and Japanese and Americans had no interest in Satawal because they had no lagoons, had no military needs, and so they left the school alone. It's called Wodiang, the most powerful school in navigation in the world. And Mao is a master because he lives in the realm of magic, that his relationship to nature and to the ocean is about oneness. There is no difference about the lightning and Mao, or the bird and Mao, or the wave and Mao. It's the same thing. And that is what we sail for, that connection to nature, because you cannot protect what you don't understand. And you won't do it if you don't care. And Moana Nui Akea is the third equation. You can't do it by yourself. You got to connect. So when we set off on this voyage, maybe you want to know, why did we come to the Pacific Northwest first? Because of you, the native people. We want to learn what is the relationship and the balance that we knew in the past for thousands of years that allowed families to thrive and to strive and keep the environment in balance. And that was the same thing that Mao is. That the eagle and the raven and the killer whale, the family names are a clear attachment of who we are as human beings to the natural world. So for 12,000 years, 14,000 years, we came here because we wanted to be close to the people, to learn from the people that were closest to the ocean the longest. Thank you. Moana Nui Akea is not a choice, it's an obligation. I will make these comments and you may not agree with them, it's okay. But I don't believe there'll ever be any healthy living system on the earth if the oceans are not healthy. I believe you kill the oceans, you kill our children's future. We could choose to stay home. This is by far the longest and the most dangerous voyage we'll ever take. And the question is it going to be worth it? And it's hard to answer that question. You got to go. The last 4 months, we traveled from Yakutat, Alaska, 60 degrees north, 2/3 of the way to the North Pole. Hubbard Glacier was there. Only 2 of the glaciers amongst the thousands in Alaska that is advancing. The rest are not. And we went there and came south through British Columbia and then into the United States. And this leg here was from Tacoma to San Francisco. And we knew that this would be statistically the most dangerous passage. Your coastline off here, this coast. Because our perception as students of navigation, you only know where you are by memorizing where you come from, but you got to memorize in nature. So we're constantly watching that horizon. Your ocean is alive all the time. Your ocean is changing all the time. And we were really concerned about this leg, even though it was only 800 miles, that we weren't prepared for it. That we could captain canoes, we can't pilot them. And so it was a dangerous trip that had to get us to here. But one thing that we learned deeply, in your fog for 40 hours is a little intimidating, by the way. And you learn to become humble. That's when you have a chance or permission to talk to nature. And we pay respect to this ocean here. And we're grateful to the Miwok that when we snuck in, we didn't want to spend another night out at sea because the weather changes so much. So we snuck into underneath the Golden Gate Bridge around midnight, and the Miwok were there to greet us in Sausalito. And then and today for the Ohlone to give us permission to be on this land, and they talked about today about we're still here. You're not just still here. You're necessary for us to figure out the code. We need to figure out how are we going to live our lives differently in relationship with the natural world. You guys know how to do this. And you've been tested more than I have, more than many, many people, maybe in this audience. You were tested when your 14,000 years of tradition was taken away. You were tested when the brutality of the last 250 years. You're not just here, you're strong. And that we came to the British Columbia, Alaska, and this part of Pacific Northwest to learn from you. And what we found was, the thing that I would just summarize is that in the end, it seems that the equation of 29 different communities we went to, the equation's the same. Love. Love of home, love of family, and the love of your children's future. Basic, simple. And that the choice is by every community was that we are going to use our ancient traditions to help us find a way. So we're deeply grateful for all of those who allowed this voyage to take place. Moana Nui Akea, for me, I go into these bouts of, I guess, depression. When we look at every single media story, maybe not every. When we got TVs in Hawaii when I was a kid, it was black and white, 3 channels. They turned it off at 10 o'clock at night. The only thing that made me come home before sunset was 2 heroes. Carl Sagan, that took me to the cosmos, and Jacques Cousteau, that took me below the ocean. They made me fall in love with nature. The danger now is, what do our children see on their telephones and on their iPads? What do they see? And my concern is, and we're seeing it in Hawaii with the impact on children, primarily their mental and emotional and spiritual health. That the stories are always about reasons why you should be afraid of nature. Wrong. Yes, it feels like we're in the black of the storm, but I believe we can beat the crisis of climate. We can beat the crisis of biodiversity loss. We can win the challenge of sustainability if we do one primary thing: come together. And what we need is the navigator. What we need is the navigator to allow us to understand, a person that deeply understands nature, that spends a lifetime connecting with communities, donates everything of her life into wildlife, into nature, with the understanding we will not survive unless they do. And so that navigator, I asked her to come here. Kind of begged her to come. Because in the black of the storm, she has a flashlight to show humanity the way out. That flashlight is from her heart and her mind and her love for something so deeply that she'll fight for it for generations and generations. That great navigator that I believe I follow and I learn and I get in the wake of her work. And is the premier, in my opinion, expert on the ocean and the atmosphere. Same thing as water. But it's her fierceness and dedication to something that is so inspiring. I will follow her forever. Dr. Sylvia Earle.
Thank you, Nainoa, for that generous introduction. I think we will be going in circles because I follow you. Talk about a navigator who is, if one person could be said to bringing all of us together here now, it's you, Nainoa. And you as Nainoa portrayed, we in the 21st century are witnesses to a remarkable change in the nature of nature in our home, Earth. We are witnessing a decline of almost every species that you can think of, except us. We continue to prosper. At what cost? We're consuming nature. We always have. It's in the nature of all creatures to consume the world around them. Birds do it, fish do it, sharks do it. We consume the natural world, but no species has done so much so fast, mostly bringing about fundamental changes in ocean chemistry, planetary chemistry, planetary temperature in the last 2 centuries. Now, when you think about it, that view that astronauts have shared with us of Earth from space, the world is blue, but most importantly, perhaps, this is home for all of us. You could say all of us, every human who's ever lived, every creature who has ever lived. For as long as Earth has had life, we're all indigenous to Earth. But among my species, your species, there are some who've been privileged to have a deep relationship with a place, with the creatures who share a space within that place, cultures that have prospered, not just for decades, not just for centuries, not even for millennia, well, many millennia, in a place. Now think of it. If you put a wrap around New York City or San Francisco with all the people that we have here right now, it would be really difficult for us to maintain a healthy population, even a healthy life, for more than a few days. Imagine being able to live in a place in balance with the creatures, with nature, with the water, with the sky, and maintain a peaceful, prosperous relationship. In a way, you could say that those cultures, those people, such as the Ohoni, such as the Chumash, such as all the people who have the deep history here in California, the deep history throughout the Pacific Island cultures, throughout the world. Those fortunate, privileged individuals are the elders. They have knowledge born of a long relationship with a place, with nature, learning how to use nature but not use all of it, always thinking about respect for that which keeps you alive. We've broken those connections as we have raced forward in the last 200 years. On one hand, you could say we are so prosperous, never before have humans been as abundant with 8 billion of us. Go back to just 1500, there were only 500 million. When I came along, there were 2 billion. By 1980, there were 4 billion. I mean, we're on a roll. But at what cost? At the same time, you could look at the birds have declined. Well, the creatures on the land, and now, especially since that point in history that geologists are now referring to as the Anthropocene, the time when our species is so taken so much from nature that on the order of 90% of many of the large fish from the sea are gone. Tunas, sharks, swordfish. And you think about, okay, where did you come from, Mr. Shark? Their history goes back 400 million years. Not just decades, not just centuries, not just millennia. That starfish that was out there on the Brickway, closer to 500 million years ago, their ancestors. Talk about deep history. Talk about what we can learn if we don't lose them before we have a chance to make peace with them and among ourselves. We have the best chance right now, 21st century humans, lucky us, because we have access to the wisdom of the elder populations, the cultures, the truly deep knowledge that comes from having relationship, a place for a long time. Bravo to all of you who have that gift of being in touch with history. We need to respect that knowledge, truly, the wisdom that comes by knowing your place, knowing the birds, knowing the fish, knowing the cycles of life. And at the same time, we're armed with the 21st century technologies that enable us to go high in the sky. And I have been privileged to go deep in the sea. I have the fun, the pleasure of having discussions with Nainoa about what's under the canoe. All those creatures that precede all of us by a very long time. What wisdom do they have that we can take and go and embrace to help us navigate from this point in time which is dangerous for us. Climate change, it's real, it's happening, and we're the cause of this rapid change in ocean and planetary chemistry, temperature. We've witnessed and we will witness, if we keep on the same trajectory without navigating with the wisdom that we have available to us, we're going to lose 1 million species by the end of this century, unless we take to heart this moment in time. We are witnesses of decline, tipping points in the wrong direction. We need to tip in the right direction. We need to have a turning point, and that's what this voyage celebrates. Just follow the leadership, the people around the Pacific, around the world, who have the wisdom, those elder cultures, if you will, that can share those newcomers about how do we get from where we are to a better place. We need to respect nature, treat the ocean as if our lives depend on it, because they do. I want to thank all of those of you here, because each of you can help with this journey. We must. No one, not even Nainoa, as powerful, as wise as he is, cannot do it alone. Everybody can do something. When you ask, what can I do? I say, look in the mirror. What can you do? I can't tell you who you are. I don't know what your superpower is, but you've got it. Every child comes with something that sets him or her apart. Every one of us, no matter, every cat, every dog, every tuna, every shark, every bird, every tree, we're all different, but we all live on this planet. Our future can be an enduring future in harmony with nature. Well, no one could do it all. Everybody can do something. And as we've been hearing with all that you've heard today, this is the time. We need to come together. We need to use our superpowers, whatever they are, to navigate a safe future. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, it's my cousin. Huh? My cousin Joseph. Oh. He was worried about my, condition.
Oh my God, cool. The duty of coming together. We'll remember this day in San Francisco. This 47-month voyage, Sylvia's correct, it's about making connections and finding those who believe in the same destination and navigate by the same values. So what we're going to do now is simply just sign. It's called a declaration, but it's much more than that. It's promises. Promises to nature. And it's going to be connecting the Polynesian Voyage Society with Sylvia and the Mission Blue, because we can't do it ourselves. And what Sylvia does for us, it lets us sail and make connections, and she brings so much wisdom. So permit us just to quickly sign this declaration, and we're going to ask the Ohlone leadership to please sign also, because we're in your place, and we're honored if you would.
As chair of the Raumatish Ohlone, the original peoples of the San Francisco Peninsula, including Yolongu, what we now call San Francisco, It is my honor, our honor, to be the first Native tribe to sign this proclamation that reaffirms our commitment to preserving, protecting, and restoring the blue heart of our Earth Mother, a commitment, by the way, that Native peoples have been practicing for millennia.
Wasihim Arapa Chatiokwan 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 Wasihim.
Please express your appreciation for the unity around the commitments to nature. Noah Thompson, Sylvia Earle, Jonathan Cordero, Omar Maitush, Oloni, Greg Castro, Cultural Director. Thank you all. Okay, well, now at this time we're going to transition again into some of our performances. To do that, we're going to take advantage of this moment when we have these wonderful people on stage, and we're going to actually take a photo. And this is your chance to go ahead and catch this group. I'm going to have you stand and just go ahead and get yourselves in order so we can remember this moment. I would even ask you if you could come up further. Maybe even, yeah, that's perfect like that. We have crew who can stand in the back. Okay, we'll be here for just a few moments. If you want to take a shot, you can. This is a historical moment, and we're going to seize it so that our grandchildren will remember. And shortly, we'll be clearing the stage and getting ready for our first performance. Oh, maybe another 10, 20 seconds. Some of you have lay or little things you want to present to our crew. We're going to be sending them up into the reserve section shortly. Okay, are we good? Another 10 seconds. Awesome. Okay. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Awesome. We're going to invite our leaders, our First Nations, up here on this side. Our crew and our leaders up here on the west side. There's a reserve section for you so we can enjoy the tributes. First Nations on the east side of the bleachers in a reserve section. All of our other leaders, a reserve section on the west side. We're about 3 minutes away from our first performance. Mahalo anui loa. Thank you for allowing us to clear the stage.
Yeah, that was kind of my intention.
Thank you everyone for allowing us a little bit of elbow room. We're going to be moving things off the stage.
Ready when you guys are.
And we invite you to visit with the crew members. They will be up in their reserve section up here along with our city leaders. Our First Nations will be in their section up here. We invite you to say hello to them. Okay, thank you for clearing the stage. And we have our first act coming on. Thank you.